Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Being Podcast, a safe space I've created for us to come and think about how we believe, engage, innovate, navigate, and gain in all areas of our lives. I'm your girl, Jada, and for those of you that may still be new, know that this is a safe space that I've created because I believe that it's imperative for us to be able to be vulnerable, to really share our truths. Safety is needed. So if you are new, understand that off the bat. If you're returning, hello, how you doing? I hope that your week has gone great. And even if you're new, I hope your week has gone great. But I do release these every week. So I'm coming to you in live color, in person, as well as on the audio, if you're still only able to listen, which is absolutely fantastic for me. So this week, I'm not going to hold you very long. I guess I'm still going to throw in some little mini episodes here and there. So I'm just going to get in and get out this week. I know that if you're like me, we are looking forward to spring break. Ours is not this week, but next week. So we don't have anything fancy planned, but it'd be good to find a couple of activities for me and Olivia to get into. The babies will still be going to daycare, as we know. But I'm not going to hold you long today. But I did want to talk about taboos just a little bit, right? So, as you can see, if you're looking at me, and if you don't know, I am a woman of color. I am a female, been in this body 42 years, and I have personally experienced, even from my own parents, the stigmas attached, to certain things, right? Because just culture or the way they were raised or what they even believed to be right or wrong that they then decided to share as they taught with us and put on us. But I just wanted to take a moment and just dispel some of those, right? Because I already have to deal with a lot. And if you are anything like me, even if you are only a single minority in that group, my fierce females out there, we already have a lot that we have to live up to. There's already so much that is put on us, the expectations and, the desires of other people, to be quite frank, right? So, all the episodes up to this point, and I will continue, have been about who are you at your core? What is it that you want? What is it that you need to get after? Not only for you, not only for your babies if you have them, but for the people that are looking to you, whether you know that they are or not. And I can pretty much guarantee someone's looking at you. But what are those things that challenge you? What are those things that make you feel alive? What are those things that you want to get up day after day after day and get after and take those little small steps forward to lead to that big change that you want to see, to get to that mission success that is out there and that's attainable for you, right? So who is she? Who is she at that core? That self-identity. And then what is it that you want? So in that, it's so crucial to take that time. But as we continue to look at what our parents have taught us, or aunties, or grandmas, or whoever, or society in itself, even our friends, right? Because they are sharing with us things that they've been taught. But I don't want you, my incredible lady, to get caught up or to lose sight of your passion because you're internalizing what everybody else thinks, what everybody else desires, what everybody else wants, how their fears or their, whatever is making them kind of stop and pause. When they put that on you, what is it making you do? Are you then stopping and saying, oh, okay, am I supposed to do this? Am I able to do this? And I'm going to tell you, heck, yes. I've already told you, you don't need permission from other people. I am telling you the time is now, and I'm telling you to get out. But in saying that, let's talk about a couple of specifics. So by now, if you've been listening for a while, you know that I am a mama bear to three incredible little baby beings, right? So we have our big girl, Olivia. She's 6. She's incredible. I know all parents think that of their kids, right? But she is. She's so bright, so smart, so caring, so all of the things. And then a few years later, we decided to, or let's say I decided, and I thought she should, have some siblings that were closer in age because my husband is a good 13 years older than me and has older kids. But I was like, no, she needs, brothers and sisters close to her age. So, when that day comes, she will have somebody here with her, right? So my husband, after, y'all, real talk, after doing a cost benefit analysis, because I got my degrees in finance and he actually, his minor was in finance. So he made me do a cost benefit analysis. I know that's more accounting, but anyway, and I had to do a PowerPoint presentation. It took a while for him to get on board with this, right? So we did. We decided, okay, we're going to try again and see what happens. So I am saying all of that to get to this point. We were blessed to go through 2 rounds of IVF. And through those 2 rounds, we were able to have our now 3 babies. And the other incredible part about that is that Uncle Sam, as I often say, gave me my husband and my baby. So, that's wonderful for me. But they helped with that. And so if you are in the military and you want some more information on that, hit me up. I can at least guide you the right way on that. But my daddy would say, Jada, the military doesn't like to give you what they owe you. So, this is a God thing because they were able to assist in us going through in vitro. And I will say that is a big taboo. At least it has been for, the Black community. And I actually, when I got ready to go through mine, I had a couple of friends who had been through it. So I was able to pick their brains, but it still wasn't something that was just openly shared and openly talked about. And before we had to get there, my parents were like, girl, relax. It's going to happen. Just, you're too stressed. And it's like, mommy, daddy, I love you. But you do understand that there could technically be something wrong, right? I am not immune to there being issues or complications or whatnot. And so just a little bit more background for context. I also suffered from fibroids, which I believe, do not quote me on this, but I believe 60% of African American women tend to have them, and they are in your uterus and they're like tumors. And I've had 2 open myomectomies, and a myomectomy is the removal of them. And so the first time I had them, I was my husband wasn't even on the radar, but I was extremely anemic. I actually, through the course of my life so far, I've had 3 blood transfusions and an iron infusion. And we had to go in and they had to surgically remove them. And we tried to do everything, but they had to surgically remove these fibroids. And I called them the Dirty Dozen. There were 12. They gave me a picture because I could not see them afterwards because I'm like, can I see what has been causing me all of this trouble? But they gave me a picture, and there were some that were really large and there were some that were small. And basically, they would compete with a fetus if I were to have gotten pregnant, right? And so I had this myomectomy, and the doctor explained to me at the time that, hey, whatever we can't see could possibly grow back or whatnot. So that was in 2010. And then fast forward, I'm ready to now have a family, have a baby, and they've grown back. And through another open myomectomy, and I'm sorry if you don't understand what that means. Open means they had to cut down into my uterus and surgically remove them. And now they can do them robotically. So I think if they're small enough, or depending on the position, but talk to your OB. I am not a doctor. This is not that. But I had to have another open myomectomy. And my reproductive endocrinologist, she was amazing. And she went in and she did that, removed, y'all, another 12. So we removed another 12. And I believe both of them, I think maybe the first one, they said that my uterus was like the size of a 22-week pregnancy. The second one was around there, 22 to 24 weeks, right? So these fibroids were taking over my uterus, and they had to be removed before, a baby could get into this environment and try to thrive and live and grow up in there. So we did that, and we were going to try to do IUIs, which is basically where like they do all the timing and they go in there and they inject, your partner's sperm, and it helps with your like natural ovulation and all of that. Well, when we got ready to go in there, only had one good tube at the time. And so by the time this happened after the myomectomy, the other one closed up. So the only option we had was to do IVF. And as I stated earlier, the grace of God, the help of the military, the prayer warriors and angels surrounding us, we were able to go through our first round of IVF in 2015. So I had the myomectomy on Juneteenth. If you're from Texas, you know, and if not, it's a national or a federal holiday. So hey, from Texas, you're welcome. No, so I had it in June, and basically we transferred 2 embryos in February of 16. So after doing all the shots and doing all the monitoring and all of that good stuff, we transferred on the 7th or the 6th of February, and of course you had to wait, just like normal pregnancy. And if you're not really familiar with IVF, it's like they basically use like just the medical stuff is amazing, right? But they basically use medicines to, it's almost like to make your body do what it would normally do, right? So like shutting off your cycle, starting your cycle, doing the injections so that your body has the hormones to do what it needs to do. So I still had to wait 2 weeks after we transferred, and we put in 2. And my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, actually passed a couple of days before we did that. And I ended up getting the transfer, coming back to Alabama, going home, going to that funeral. And on February 14th, Valentine's Day of all days, I was about to travel back home, and started spotting. So we do believe we lost one then, but God is so good. We now have Olivia. She's healthy, she's happy, she's whole, she's amazing. So we were able to have a successful singleton out of that transfer. And so then fast forward, they had frozen mine in pairs, so we had them to thaw them out, and I still had to do some shots and stuff. It was all good, and we went back and they transferred 2, and now we have our twins, Amelia and Langston. So I'm saying this to say, yes, people are going to have their stigmas, people are going to have their opinions, but don't let that stop you from doing the things that are on your heart to do. All right. So let's get that stigma and that taboo out of the way, right? IVF, it's a process, but it's there. And if you're able and willing to go through it, you can be successful. All right. So let's squash that taboo. Yes, people of all races can have issues, and then we can have success stories as well. All right. All right. Let's get into the next one. All right, ladies, just one more, and then I promise I'm going to let you get out of here because I said this was going to be short. I wanted to touch on the taboo of therapy, talk therapy specifically. Now, this one was one that my parents more so supported. Probably my dad more than my mom. I mean, she just kind of supported anything, but my dad, even in looking at my brother and my nephews and their situations, he thought that they could have benefited from that. It wasn't so much for me because I tend to take on more. I tend to, I guess in all transparency, like deflect and try not to worry about things such as even like still grieving my parents, which is slowly and surely coming out. And I actually just had my therapy session last week and spoke to her about that. And I know I need to address it. So I am not telling you something that I think or that I've heard or other people have told me about. I am just speaking my truths. I am just trying to be, vulnerable because again, this space is safe enough for me to get on this camera, to speak in this mic and share my own stories, because I do believe that they'll help somebody else, and I hope that this has helped you. But if you've been thinking about therapy, if you've ever been and you stopped for whatever reason, you're dealing with things that you just need someone who can truly listen, be unbiased, and give you, suggestions, and give you some skills and some tools that you can put in your kit bag to help you to just be a better version of you, then talk therapy is definitely something that I would recommend. Again, yeah, it's been taught like we don't tell people our problems. You don't take what happens in the home outside of the home. Like, I get it. We've heard it, right? And again, this probably stems from years and years and years of history that our ancestors had to go through. But it's 2023, and we have been through so much, the pandemic. And I mean, that's just like on a global scale. But if you're dealing with your own, like if you've had loss, like I've had both of my parents, not be here earthside anymore. The fact that I couldn't conceive naturally, and I thought I was a failure in some way. Or, me dealing with the loss of friendships. I have to look at that sometimes like, what am I doing that's wrong, And sometimes it just takes someone else to have you to dig a little bit deeper, to um, listen to the questions, even ask yourself some questions, and then be honest and open with yourself, be transparent so that you can get to the root of anything that you're dealing with. So don't let what people have said, and even those who may have been to therapy and they may have had a bad experience with a particular therapist. But guess what, guys? We're all human, and we don't all gel, right? It happens, but it doesn't mean that the basis of the therapy is off or wrong or will not work or will not help you. So if you've tried and you stopped for whatever reason and you know that it can benefit you, try again. If it's something that's been on your heart or your mind, go seek it out, try it out. um, so those are my experiences, and I just wanted to share this, and it was something I wanted to get to last year or last season, and I didn't. And I just want to take this moment, because as we are getting into the spring and getting into the summer, and we're going to be, if you're a busy mom, there's always so much expected of us or needed of us, or whatever it could be. If you are, crushing it in the corporate arena, there's people always looking at you to do everything. And especially if you're very proficient at what you do, they're going to keep piling it on. But who are you? What do you want? What has stopped you? Who are you waiting on permission from? you know what do you need to go get after? And don't let these taboos stop you. And there's probably tons of others. These are just a couple because I've personally lived them. And here I am on the other side. I still go to therapy. My baby girl, my 6-year-old, she goes to therapy. We started her after losing my parents because she was super close to them. And now we continue to go because, there's just things that we have to work on as she continues to grow into her own little human self, right? So don't be ashamed. Don't let other people's thoughts, bias, fears, concerns stop you from what it is that you need to do. And I just hope that this fuels you in some sort of way. I hope that it encourages you and inspires you, because you deserve to live a fulfilled life while you're here. You deserve to live and have happy and excitement, or happy moments and exciting moments, and to just not have to live in how people are trying to put you in a box, if that's happening to you right now. So get out there. Let's get after it. These taboos, it is what it is, but don't let that stop you. All right. So with that, I am going to get out of here, and I will be back next week. I think next week. No, the week after I'll have a special guest. So I'll get into something next week. So I'll see you then. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And remember, you have everything you need inside of you to do the things that you've been called to do. So get up, go answer that call.